Alright, so, hello, how you doing? My name is Parker, the Sports Commentator, your happy Vocaloid who loves sports video games. And today, your happy Vocaloid who loves sports and doing commentating is going to talk about Fire Promoter. This is a tutorial how to play the game, and I am here to also give you advice, a little bit of tips, and probably give you something to help out around. So, you can start with a custom promotion. So here's the promotions I have made. These 5. I have MMA, Anime Wrestling Federation, CWCW, Pat Nation Wrestling Federation, Hurricane Wrestling Alliance. Now, I think CW is Cyclone World Championship Wrestling. PNWF is Pat Nation Wrestling Federation, and Anime Wrestling Federation. That's a simple one. But we're gonna do to make it a little bbit more different. We're gonna do the Pat Nation one. We're gonna do normal. We're gonna do 12 promotions. Now I typically do 12. Makes it more simple. It's not too much handle. So let's talk about styles. Let's talk about styles first before we get into there used to be a guide for let me just check that real quick. Actually, I have it on a doc. Help you all. Yes, here we go. I'm still trying to type it. I was going to type it, but nope, I'm going to do it anyway. So let's first talk about territories. You have America, Japan, Latin America, and Europe. This is where your company is your home territory. All your shows will be in these shows, but you can go to Japan, Latin America, and Europe, but you have to build your trust with them along the way. So we're going to do with America. Now, there's different styles, promotion styles. There's Strong, King's Road, Showman, Stoic, Lucha, Hardcore, and Freestyle. Strong style is just New Japan Pro Wrestling style. King's Road is All Japan Pro Wrestling. Showman is WWE/WCW. Stoic is PWF style, which is like MMA work style, kind of like the work version of MMA. Lucha is, of course, Lucha Underground, a lot more than the Mexico style wrestling that we all know. Hardcore is ECW. I can probably list a couple, but I forgot their names. And then you got Freestyle, which is completely MMA. So, but yeah, Lucha, I can also say Lucha is like, what was that movie was called? That Jack Black was voiced. That's basically what, Lucha is. A bunch of masks, all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna do Pat Nation Wrestling Showman. We're gonna, nope, we're not gonna change it yet. We're gonna change promotions. We're going to do Hurricane Wrestling Alliance, and I'm going to show you the styles of these guys, too. So you guys ever want to play, it's really fun. So you can actually change these styles. Yes, you heard me correctly. These are styles you can do. Now, you can also change the wrestlers. So, now what I do, and this is just what I do, is randomize signed wrestlers. And I randomize free agents. Just to give at least everyone a free hands up. That's another fun tip. You can randomize signed wrestlers, and you can randomize them to make them fair and even. What I typically do is at least 6, 7, or 8. So we'll do randomized sign 6, 6. Now, what I'm going to do is there a way I can do manually select? Yeah, I can. Okay. What I do too is you can also do this. Now, what they typically you would do for your signed wrestlers. So your non-participants are right here. My advice is you do, I typically do at least 6 of those, at least tops. I definitely actually want to edit this one so I can make it a little bit more understandable. There we go. You can also do authority. Now what you typically do want to do too, let me look and see the free, the manual select. Here we go. Now, what I typically do to make them look fair, I also typically do at least 6 to 7 tops, at least. So, like I said, 6, 7, 6, 6. Like, typically, all will either 6 or 7 to give everyone such an even number. I'm also going to do probably is give them a 6 number. So, let's see. Roman Reigns. Let's see what we're going to do with this one. We're gonna give this one a free agency, but I typically do is at least put 6 6 wrestlers per promotion. Also manual select for this one. So let's see, main unit. And I typically do is put everyone else in free agencies. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So what always we do is put them in even numbers. Bam, bam. There you go. So there you go. Makes the job easier and just saying done. Now it is a work to do that, but it is a fun. I recommend it. Also, now let's get into a little bit more of the fun lore. Cyclone Wrestling, America, it is going to be Showman. They're the WCW, Hurricane Wrestling Alliance. I think they are in my realm. Now, MMA is going to be Europe. They're going to be freestyle. Anime is Japan, and they're mostly going to be like a Showman. Actually, they're probably going to be like a strong style. They're kind of like New Japan a little bit. They're going to compete with JTW. We got a bunch of American Showmen, I'll tell you that much. We got a bunch of them there. But we need to go ahead and put Hurricane Wrestling Alliance in Europe, and they're going to be more like, I think they'll probably be more of a hardcore style, if you would think about it. I'm trying to remember what they were, but anyway, MMA, Europe, freestyle, they're kind of the same in Europe. Actually, they're probably going to be Kings Road, because, you know what, because, like, they're Kings Road because, like, because you would think that they would make sense. So yeah, they're gonna be in Japan. But there you go. But yes, that is, that's basically what it is. Also, you can do is you can look at, like, these other guys too. Actually, I don't think you can, but you can't. I wish there was a way you can play multiplayer in this. That'd be pretty cool, but yeah. But that is it. That is how that works. Nope, we're gonna go back and we're gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna break down each establishment. So congrats on establishing your new promotion. All right, let's make the magic happen. You got what it takes to pull ahead of the pack. The world is ours for the taking. First, we have to take this group of nobodies and turn them to somebodies. You saw something special when you signed them. Time to develop that potential. We're all counting you, boss. Take us to the top. All right, January management. This is where your promotion starts. Welcome to your position as the new CEO. Starting this month, you'll call on the shot. Your job is to book events and boost the popularity of your promotion and wrestlers to compete the world stage. Let's start by setting up your first events. Events are lifeblood of the company. Fans will expect match styles that match your promotion style. The rest of it to you. Take us to the top, boss. All right, so let's break down each tab one by one by one. So, human resources. You're going to get consultations, which is where you can get, this is where you can actually do your contracts, you can do changing your salaries, you can release wrestlers, you can actually do a lot of stuff. Training expeditions. These are where your wrestlers will start going to different areas of the world, like Latin America, Japan, North America, America, and Europe. And actually, you get a good chance where you can actually get something. Now, broker contracts, this is where I think you can actually, try to remember what it was, but this is where you can actually get a lot of your collaborations with. I think that's what I remembered. You can collaborate wrestlers and promotions alike. Manage stables. Here you go. So this is where your stables are around. I recommend if you have problems like this, start a new stable, because sometimes this does happen. Now, offer contracts. Now, this is where the fun magic happens. This is where the fun stuff happens. This is where the real true fun begins. So, what I suggest anyone to do is you start with signing guys and gals with contracts that are going to be cheap. Now, what I typically do, also, these are kind of like guessing games. You don't know what you're going to get. So, see, like this, this is a strong style. She's a strong style. You have to match your, thing. So, you can also do scouting. Let me go ahead and show you how scouting works. Now, I typically will always start is try to do 4 months of these guys. I always start with their basic stuff, and I make offers. Now, what I typically do too, I change Mr. Questions to like Showman, because it basically I could get an opportunity where I can find Now that's what I just showed you, by the way, is that's how you actually sign. That's how you basically hire the scouts. It's basically you can't just go basically what you can't do is just go, oh, I'm just go basically no offer. No, you need to make the offer and then you go straight to accepting it. So that's how you do that. Now onto the management. This is where it gets the really fun part. Now, what I suggest you right off the bat, you expand your gym. First purchase. If you cannot sign a guy or gal, you automatically want to start bumping up and getting your gym in order automatically. So, there you go. That's how this rolls. Now, another thing to keep in mind, don't spend everything on a hot heap. Because what happens is if you're under a certain amount, okay, you went negative in the game, you're completely game over. Now, on to my favorite part. Another thing I love about this game is you can do merch. Now, what I suggest for tips, your first 3 months should be focused on branded snacks, yes, and goods. Always want to have the cheaper options first and see how your fan base does. Once you get that working, at least once your goods and your brand snacks become very popular, go your towels, and then you go all the way to the top, like towels, photo collections, t-shirts, all around. So it's kind of like what you do IRL with a promotion. It's really fun with this game. I really love this game. It's like it reminds me a lot of Journey of Wrestling. If you don't know, Journey of Wrestling is another game I want to do a tutorial video sometime down the road. Because it kind of has the same feel, but it's more text-based. Meanwhile, this is where you can watch the matches and you can watch a lot of the how the magic has been going to happen in the show. So basically, you're the booker. You're basically the guy behind the scenes, but you also can see how it goes in your show. Now let's get into the next thing: cross promotion and loan and all that. So cross promotions. Each month, and I don't know how you do this, I could be wrong, but each month you get to see cross promotions. Now, do you see the relationship tab here? You see there's normal, indifferent, all of them. You have to build up your relationships upon them. Now, another thing you can do, and this is actually really helpful when you want to build your relationships, you can loan wrestlers. Yes, you can loan them. However, what I suggest for anyone, now you see also you can look at the money's worth of these. You can look at them as well. I wish there was a way you can edit the money thing, where I think that would be fair, where you can actually edit the money, where you can get small promotions built up. But you can also invite wrestlers. So, for example, let's say I want Miku. That's a lot. It's a lot of money, right? It's a lot of money. Let's do it somewhere different. Let's see. Where is CM Punk? Here we go. Or should we do Peter Parker? Yeah, let's do Peter Parker. Yeah, this one's a little better. See? Now you got a wrestler. Now, here's how the loan system works. I'm not going to loan a wrestler, don't worry. One last thing I want to say. The loan system, you see how the fight style ratios come around with some of these people? Like, you see the fight styles and how they mix and match. And some are missing the swing and the misses with their highlight. It's because is that some of them are trying to some of them do match well, and they're actually they're the highlighted ones we're gonna keep an eye on, because the more the better the wrestler they like, or the wrestler that matches the style that they want, the better the deal you can get out of it, and you can have a possibility where you can build a relationship with. That's correct. You can do that. So now we're gonna start with normal match. Determine the event by card. Save the main events for later in the show. Adjust the venue size and ticket price according to the audience forecast. If crafting the fight cards too much work, leave it to the matching button. Select random entries to automatically fill the open slots. Now, this is where I typically am glad that this has been actually a very good decision. Now, what I typically do is have a tag team. Yep, tag team. There you go. And I'll start the show like that. I also want to make sure everyone is now this is also Peter Parker. You also can have Sky Johati. Now can you see where also you have like free agent and all of them? Now also another thing to keep in mind. So another thing I want to share is that what makes this game really fun is that's where the card happens, right? The card is. Now, this is where the important aspect of this is. So, you can do different locations. Like I said earlier, you can do American Urban, American Rural, Japan Urban, Japan Rural, Mexico Urban, Mexico Rural, Europe Urban, Europe Rural. Now, you can also do Gymnasium, which I recommend Gymnasium to start with, tops. It's something I recommend first. Now what I typically do too is you can also do non-title, and what I do is I also I randomize it again and see if it works. So now your first show is not gonna go full house. I'm gonna be honest too. You're not gonna get full house unless you want to pay for a poster or a printed ad. TV commercial, like I said, see there, that's already a lot of money to the taking. You're going to be paying off. So what I recommend you do is just start with either a printed ad or a social media post. What I typically do is put the poster in first. It's cheaper. I also recommend that too if you want to go for a little bit more the cheaper route when it comes to that. But like I said, this is what makes what makes the shows happen. So there you go. Let's confirm the show. Now I'm going to show you. Yep, you see also the expenses. What I typically do is I also look at my expenses. I typically look at and see where our sorry, I can't talk. I will get into this part real quick. This is where it gets to the really fun part. Now you can also get personal advice from the game. It gives you advice. You see like that, for example, your person could use more wrestlers, and it's a minimum to book a decent event. There you go. And then it also gives you a bunch of lists of general advice. I recommend you also read these as well, because these help you out a lot. Actually, this is also one of my favorite things too, is also you can look at like trust. It gives you also that's another thing. That's one reason I love about this game too. It also gives you like you see this. Yeah, and also that's the thing too. You gotta keep an eye on that too. So the personal advice really definitely helps you out and see where you're at. It's not really gonna be giving you everything that you need, but it's something to just get to know of in general. So that is what you get. Now let's go ahead and go to now. Also another thing, you can relook at your event and see what you're getting. It's pretty cool. I like the way you can relook and like if you want to let's say you want to write down your event history. That's what I typically do. So now, if you do have a lot of money, what I suggest you do then is also go back to your merch again and start getting more merch. Yes, you heard me correctly. What I typically do is if I have any more money left, I put a little bit more money onto the merch aspect. So not only I'm not wasting money, I'm making more money in the long haul. Another thing. Go back to I basically kind of even things out a little bit. You see now I'm already about $20,000 under. Already have enough on 19,000 around that. That's always my limit. Is around once it hits either 20,000 or more, I try to go ahead and go in. Now, you're about to witness history in the making with the birth of a new promotion. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the inaugural event of Pat Nation Wrestling Federation. There you go. We plan to be the best in the world, and every one of you can help us to get there. There we go. And bam. There we go. So, there's now another thing. Yes, this can happen. Your wrestlers can go no-show. Yes, you heard me correctly. Now, it did not pop it here, but there's a screen reaction. I don't know if I can give you an example. I forgot there's a video I was watching, but you can actually there's wrestlers that can go no-show. And actually, it hurts your capacity as well. It hurts your capacity because it builds hype on the show, especially when it's a match that builds hype. So, what I typically also show now. Here we go. Now another thing, your match evaluations, like your 86%, are always your best matches. So, are you a good opener so far? Next up, I just typically just skip them because I like simming them. So the goal for your match evaluations is it has to be at least either 80 to 70%. Underneath that, it's already a bad idea. Main event. 93%, very good main event. So you see it's an 85% average card rating. It is a success. Yeah, we pulled out tonight, but the empty bleachers stood out. You may want to consider a smaller venue. Now, here's the thing. The gymnasium is the smallest world of any of the sections of the world in this game to actually get. So even if you have a really good rating, it just means that you need to build your thing. But also, this is really cool too. You can look at like who your tag team champions are. You can also look at, like you see this right here too. You can also look at your 6-man tag team champions. There you go. Now, do you see also there's not a lot of money that game? Now, keep this in mind. This is another thing to keep in mind. The attendance was not much. Okay? So, this is what I was talking about earlier. Is that the more money you make, now also like I said, this month you have a scheduled tournament for DFW. There you go. Now, you can, however, Hunter White showing ace. Now, that's also another thing about this aspect. You can see news where which companies hire which, all of that. Now, another thing. Now, here's something that's really cool about this game too. Do you see the merch, all that? You see all like the merch and the news and all that? Like how they say, oh yeah, sales aren't so hot, and then sales aren't so hot with that. This is where you have to be smart. So, that's another thing about the brand of snacks. You have to play smart where you're coming from, or you're doing from the very beginning. Now, what's great about where you're at right now at this point, like you see right here where I'm looking for repairs. That's always what you want to look at. Now this is where you can also you can go back to your hiring and see where you can come from. Now you can. I am gonna try this. See, like you see that now, like you see how like already David's decline. So I typically go to an invite. Now what I typically do too is go. Let's see. Can I actually get? No, I cannot. That's expensive. Now also that's another thing too. Keep an eye on when you guys get you get guys or gals that literally are either too expensive or too cheap. Yeah, you see that now? Like you also Randy Savage, 12,000. There you go. Now also another thing. Nope, it does not meet the wrestling style. Go back to Peter Parker. Now, you see already noticed that I'm already already over the assets. Now on to the booking aspect. So, here we go. That's another thing to keep in mind. Now we're in a good full house now. We're in a good full house show. That's another thing to keep in mind. Also, let's say you want to build up your prices. Building up your prices is a good idea, but I would suggest if once you get a really good full house, try to at least get $20 out of the so you at least get out of the hole. So let's go ahead and try it. There we go. Now you see, I already got 10 grand over the hole. But that's another thing to keep in mind. Are you going to go ahead and like? That's the thing. You gotta be prepared. Is if you can have at least have enough to get the show going. Now for loans. Let me go ahead and now you see also how I've been getting a lot of not a lot of the wrestlers getting that. It's because I'm using all of them, which is a good thing. And it works. All right. So again, no shows. I'm surprised. No shows. So, there we go. But that is why you have to play smart, all right? Opener 75%. We're doing good so far. I'm not going to try to sim all of this so we can just go straight to the point. Okay, Peter Parker did a really good job with the rivalry against Ted DiBiase. Now, and then go to the next one. 86%, really good. So, and then for the main event, Rey Mysterio versus Randy Savage. 81%, really good match. So 83% full house, definitely what you want to get at this point. It's called a great success. Now you're gonna be in a bigger venue, or what I would suggest you do, like you're in my position right now. Yep. So now they also have champions. You see that you can get your new champions. But look at that too. So I am making some income, but also it's not a lot of money. The good news is we're not losing a lot. That's the good thing too. We're not losing money as much, but also we're not making as much money. That's the thing. Okay, Ace got big. Antonio Inoki joined the MMA, and we found shit in Japan, and we found Yuta in Japan. See, that's what I'm talking about too. Now, let's go to training center. We'll go ahead and repair. This is also I recommend do too. So first things first, you always want to go ahead and improve your wrestlers. Also improve your thing. So now you also see how get your next 2,000 there. Now also I do at least 4,000 for this. Try to start with 1,000 first. The rest of them I can take care of it by itself. Now we got that out of the way. Now train center. You see also you can also spend I can spend a little bit more in the sandbag. I recommend that too. Anything that once you hit the $2,000, it works. Now, one last thing I wanted to share with you about this game that I really enjoy. Sometimes, now let's go back to also, let's try to do one more time. I can show you. Now, also, another thing to share. Sometimes you're going to get wrestlers that can meet. Let's go to Peter Parker. And let's say that we want to try to get a contract for him. There you go. Now we got a wrestler with a contract. Now that's really good. Now, keep in mind. Now we already got another wrestler. What I recommend you do too is change your salaries. Because once you get some really good money out of it, like the better the trust, the better you're going to get out of it. So like you see here right now. Like bam. Like you also see a lot of the trust here. You're getting like good money out of it. Like you see how sometimes. Also, like you also see how like you also see like how I'm making like getting everyone like a raise. That's pretty good because now you're getting guys that are really interested in your company, but at the same time your trust levels need to be very careful with, because your trust levels, if let's say their days are numbered, they want to extend their contract, that's because of that. So we'll do one more month of this, and I'll show you how everything else works when it comes in. Now, I'll also explain one last thing. Now, I'm not going to show you the whole walkthrough of this game quite yet, because I want to do this on the same save file, but I want to continue the walkthrough some other time. But, do you see sponsored contracts and broadcast contracts? Once you complete year 1, you get sponsored contracts and broadcast contracts. These contracts are, you have to follow a certain set of rules. For example, broadcast contracts. Actually, I had this happen to me in one of my stream save files, where I was in a vacation. Yes, in a vacation. The next month, I literally lost a regional contract, a regional television contract, because there was one rule in particular I had to follow, that all my roster wrestlers have to attend in a match, that all of them have to be part of a show. So, and it was a 2-year contract. So that's why you have to be careful in this game. Now, that's what makes it even more fun. Because now, at that point, after year 1, the chaos ensues a little bit more. Especially if you want to go hard. Now, I mostly typically do normal because at that point it has the hard factor, but it's not too hard to the point. Where you literally are all that. So now sponsor contracts, they do have it's more different. So sponsor contracts, you're gonna get, like, for example, there's one where you can do a pizza like thing, which actually is really cool. But what's really cool too is that if, let's say, once your brand gets bigger and you survive for a year, you also get evaluations. Now, all these companies that I've shown already in this game are kind of a competition, and I'll show you in a little bit. One, this is the last thing I want to show you too, and it's in the bottom of the records and all that. But these sponsor contracts are once you complete year 1, they'll also automatically knock on your door. So that's another thing I want to bring up as well. Now, promotion stats. Now, these are your promotion stats. You can also look at the previous events. So let's say I want to look at CWCW. There you go. Let's say I want to look at Anime Wrestling Federation. There you go. Let's say I want to look at MMA shows, see how they're doing. I want to see how the Hurricane Wrestling Alliance are doing, how they've been booking, how they have been doing well. I want to see how, let's say, see like how everyone's going for full-blown Full House a little bit. That, and like how some of these, like, you see how they're going, all that. It's really cool. It kind of gives a lot of like the. And now let's get into the championship belts here. This is where it gets really cool. Do you see, like, you can look at like championship history. Now the sad thing is you can't see where a lot of the champions, their history and all that quite yet. I think it's like once you hit after 5 to 3 years. I don't know to confirm that. I'd like to see someone in the comment section to actually tell me about that. But it literally, you can actually look at your champions, how they have been doing, how the companies have been doing, and how their champions gone through their history within every year. I think we do is look at it every 6 months so I can see how the companies have evolved within a half a year or so, or by the end of the year. Now this is where I really love this too. You also see how you can look at their stats. You can look at their stats. You can look at how they're doing. You can also look at where they're aligned in their stables. It's pretty cool. I like that. Now, you see that ranking? Yes. Look at the ranking. This is where it's very important. Like I said, at the end of each year, your ranking is going to be announced at the end of the month, end of year 1, aka the 12th month of December. Once the month of December, your show completes, you literally can actually go and get your contracts and all that done. So it's pretty cool. I like it. So I recommend it very much. I really recommend it because it's like I think this game is pretty much on my top. It's kind of recommended on me because I feel like it's really good. But yeah. Now, you see also how some of these wrestlers are not, how much Michelangelo is? Okay. Randy Savage. Okay, that's still expensive. Alright. Whatever. Moving on. But yes. Now. But yeah. Yeah, also you can look at, like, now, what I also recommend you do, too, is also lower your prices so much, because now you can actually have a lot of more fans in your stadium. Also, your social media posts and all that would be very helpful, too, but I recommend just going poster for now in your first 6 months, tops. Like I said, it's really fun. I like it. It's quite the telling game. But now, let's go in and go into Championship Gold, the World Heavyweight Champion on the line. There you go. World Championship on the line. Actually, let's go ahead and swap right here. Let me go ahead and do. Now, also you can do this is I recommend you do this too. You go ahead and configure your title matches and do your heavyweight. You see now where there's actually a +1 in fan base. That's why. So there you go. Now, ready to go. Everything's good there. So far, that looks good. Human resources, scouting looks good. Managing stables look good. All right, so everyone is ready. I think we're ready to go. Now, let's proceed. There we go. On to March. Now, this is where a lot of people get kind of stooped up to. Is that sometimes you want to, you know, simulate and see where you're coming from. See, like I said, that opener, almost a 5-star banger. Next match. Now, you can actually watch matches. So 72% there. Like I said, that's where it gets up and down. Now, but you can press next match and you could watch it. So that's my advice. If you do, watch them. Sometimes it takes longer because you want to watch it. If you really want to watch it, I highly suggest you want to. It's really fun. You want to watch them. It's like watching a real show. And the main event, RVD becomes your new your first ever Pan Nation Wrestling Federation champion. 91%. That's pretty good. That's pretty good for a show. That really boosts up a lot of the show. Like, because once it was like 96, great opener. The mid cards were decent. They're not that great, but at least they were attentionable. And the main event was great. So, great main event. There you go. Great success. And there you go. We'll go ahead and just show you some of the champion stuff. Now, also, what I really love about this game is you can look and see how everyone's been doing. And you can also look at your other promotions as well and the wrestler stats as well. So if you want to know how everything's going and all that, you want to see how everything's going, it's because of that. So, another thing. This is why you have to be very careful with how much you're making. Like, you see how, like, your attendance, all that is not doing great. Meanwhile, your expenses are really a lot. It's because you have to be careful. So, we're on to April. Yep, Edge joined DFW. Now, you see also it says offer contract. That's because why. So, now, you can want to offer, I feel like at this point now, you also want to offer contracts. But also, you see how much expensive now is? Now you see why I said what I said. So, alright, did we do also $2,000? And now, onto the final, I feel like at this point, we need to be careful how much we're purchasing. So, now, another thing to keep in mind, you don't want to also spend too much on invites. That's another thing, too. So, we're going to go human resources. Everything looks good. Yep, everything looks great. Actually, I want to make sure scouting's look good. Okay, we got one more month for all. Like, we got 3 people. We're almost done with their scouting. So, Evan looks good. Train center looks good. What I suggest you do, too, is also, if you want to loan a wrestler, and we'll talk about tournaments a little bit after this one. Now, also keep in mind, you want to also be very careful how much your wrestlers are feeling. You see also there's a poor condition. It's because you got to be careful with that. So, now, also, do you see how I'm making $20? Actually, how much is $40? Yeah, you see also we're losing money with that much. That's why you need to be careful with that. So, what we do is put no advertisements. So, we make people at least just come to the show and see if people like it. And I typically do is try to get some cheap out of it. So, there we go. Now, we're already $11,000 over the bottle. So we'll do a new save just in case we need to do that. Anyway. Now, on to the show. As an April event. So, we're already 5 months in. My goal is trying to hit the June month. But yes. Let me just go ahead and show you the results. 95%. Super Tiger looking great as an opener. The second show on the card. Peter Parker wins against Ted DiBiase, so they can get a chance in championship. Now, this is where also I think this is really, really fun too. I think it's really fun because at least you're seeing where everything is going. Now let's see how these are going. And look at that. That's also another way you can make money is actually lowering your expenses. Also bumping up your ticket prices will kind of help you a little bit more. But I would suggest you be careful with that because you don't want to go too high for your offers. But your upkeeps definitely will help you out along the long haul. Would definitely help out a lot. Again, helping your wrestlers, getting healed. Yep, Hero. CM Punk joins FPWW. Yep, they came and find some guys. Yep, you see like better luck next time. There you go. Now, you go back to your repairs. And then there you go. Now, another thing to keep in mind. Now, also you see how I'm doing goods. All right, now. I typically do, this is where I kind of do the magic happens kind of thing. I put at least 3,000 on the table for this. Because the more money you get out of these, like you see these things are flying off the shelves, and then these sales are actually produced really good and all that, it helps you a lot with the money. So, now, this is also where I would suggest also, if you have some money left, in the coming weeks, you do is to expand them. Expand everything else around. Now, this is also where I just kind of suggest also signing contracts again. But I typically want to try it again, see if it works. You see also this does not agree with your terms. That's why. So, and also want to look at your trust, see how everyone's doing, see if everyone's okay for the show. Now, it looks like Rocky is still in good condition. But it seems like Candy's in poor condition. And everyone else is in good condition. That's good. Because it means that we're getting guys and gals to literally get their wrestling going. So, we'll do this much. We'll do 2 months of this. We'll do a strong style for 3 months. So, see, now we got some money left. So, for the show. Now, let's book our events. Now, let's go ahead and go to random entries. There we go. Now, I definitely want to get some wrestlers coming in. It's not the best decision, I know, but it's definitely want to get everyone else around involved with the show. That's another thing to keep in mind with this game too. You want everyone to get involved, but also you want to check everyone's health and see if people really want to watch the show. Now, another thing. This was what I also typically do is put at least once I hit the $40 mark, once it doesn't interfere with the full house, check your poster and see if it actually really impacts much. So what I typically do is I go back to none, losing 7, and I gain some. But the thing is, I'm probably not going to go back cheaper. That's another thing. Is if you're not getting as much impact with the poster, or even just, let's say, social media. Let's look at social media. It's not even close. Print ad, not even much. TV commercial, not even, like, yeah, sure, that TV commercial is worth it, but it's expensive. Like, 60 grand. Already over the budget on that. That's another thing to keep in mind. You gotta be very, budget heavy in this game. I really like it, because it helps a lot. Actually, this game, I think, kind of helps me a lot with some of my IRL stuff. So, it's definitely a fun game. I recommend anyone to play. Actually, that's the game I got in 2019. I wanted to play. I just didn't have time to play it. Or actually, I didn't even have a PC to take care of it. So, also, I'll write that data. There you go. And for the last, now that actually that other Pan Nation Wrestling Federation file is actually for my Twitch streams. So if you really want to get into, if you want to watch me do some Fire Pro Wrestling World commentary and doing fun booking, go check out my Twitch channel as my PNGTuber self. Go ahead and check it out. Go ahead and give a follow. Definitely worth the watch if you love Fire Pro Wrestling World and love pro wrestling games. I am definitely going to get WWE 2K25 sometime. Once I have the money and once I have an IRL job, I can get things going. But anyway, enough about that. Let's keep it going. All right, opener was rough, 63%. It was a KO. It was a short match. It was not great. RVD, Sky Too Hottie as the champions. Another 62%. It was not great. Already a rough beginning. Now a semi-main event. 96% was a really good match. At least Rocky Balboa's matches have been doing really good these past few months. He's been pushing a lot. And then the main event, 63%. It was not the best. So a 70% is decent enough for, at least for me, saying it's okay. But okay, there's another thing to keep in mind. 5 months off to recover. That's gonna hurt the company a lot too. It is a success, but the fans weren't satisfied. That's another to keep in mind. Is now, do you see also how the money has been racking? See, that's where you have to be very budget heavy in this game. So I really like this kind of game. It's fun. I recommend it. It's a really fun game. It's something I recommend a lot. So let's go ahead and save it. And I think we'll end the video right here. We'll save it. If I ever want to do a YouTube walkthrough, at least I will have a backup save file for it. But that is it. That's how Fire Pro Wrestling Fire Promoter works. And there you go. And I will probably do more of this. And like I said, it's definitely I want to recommend. I definitely recommend a it's a game I definitely recommend. So if you really want to get into the content, like you want to get more into this content, please hit the like button. I always like to have people really. Also, please give me any feedback. Go into the comment section. Give me some feedback. What kind of content do you really like to watch more of out of this? Because at this point, I feel like I want to try to expand my content on my YouTube channel. And this game was probably my favorite game so far to do on a tutorial video on. And it's definitely really fun to do. So anyway, that's all it for now. Your happy sports Vocaloid is out for the night. And I'll be back soon. And possibly, like I said, this is possibly a YouTube series I can do with Fire Promoter. So again, I'll check you all later. And have a good night. Peace. I am out.